How you doing, John? Taylor sent you the invite. I'm good, man. Just waiting for Taylor to come on. Taylor, let me know if you're having any problem. All right, Taylor, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, for everybody watching this, I'm here with Taylor Ellis, and she's kind of a up and coming grappler here in the Oklahoma area. It's competing a lot. You're a purple belt with Rafael Lovato, yeah?
No, I'm a yellow belt actually.
But you competed against a purple belt last time. Was that what it was that you had mentioned?
Yes.
Okay. So I watched the match a couple of times this morning. Well, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself first to anyone who's watching this that may not know who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm a yellow belt. I train under Professor Rafael Lovato in Oklahoma City. I've been doing jujitsu for 3.5 years. The first 5 months of jujitsu, I just did arm bars and played dodgeball. Um, haven't really done many other sports other than jujitsu. I can't throw a ball to save my life, and that's really it. Everything you already know.
Now, didn't you also wrestle as well?
I've been wrestling off and on for like 3 months. I had a knee injury that I had to stop doing wrestling for a while because it was putting a lot of pressure and damage on my knee. And so I've just been wrestling off and on for a few months.
Now, tell me when you kind of first found martial arts to begin with.
So I was going into middle school and my dad didn't really want me to get hurt, like bullies and stuff like that. And so he put me in kickboxing at first. And then my coach, his name's Myron Dennis, by the way, he was rolling around with me, just playing around. He was like, "Hey, you should put her in jujitsu. She'd be really good at it." And then we both just kind of looked at him like, "What's jujitsu?" And he's
Hmm.
like, "Go to this place, buy a gi, and then come here." And so we bought a gi, had absolutely no idea what we were doing, didn't know there was different sizes or anything. We were like, "Oh, this is Karate Kid type stuff, you know?" And then we went to a gym and I started going and I started like really getting good at it, and that's all.
Now, was that Lovato's gym that he took you to, or?
No, it was a whole other gym that I'm not sure what happened to them. But it was a whole other gym. I've been to three different gyms in my entire career. Just
Now, Myron, he's been around a long time. I mean, he was fighting way back when, but so when did you find Lovato? Like, did you look for it or someone suggest it to you?
so one of my best friends, she's been doing jujitsu with me. She started with me actually, and instead of coming to the same gym, she went to Lovato's instead of me. And then, of course, we always talk. She's like, "Taylor, you should come to Lovato's. It's really good here. The people are amazing." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I get it. Uh-huh. It's Lovato. It's gonna be great." But I wanted to stay in my gym, but I started outgrowing the gyms I was at, and I was just like, all right, I'll go to Lovato's. And so I tried it and I absolutely fell in love. The people there are amazing. The technique is so high level there. And so I'm there. That's my family.
So kind of tell me when you first get there. I mean, obviously he's got a huge reputation from, many, many years. What was your impression when you first started? What do you remember?
I was nervous to go there. I was just real nervous. Like, it's a big name, especially if you meet him. He's so humble. He's very nice. He's always trying to help people out. But I was just so nervous to talk to him and actually meet him. Which I had no reason to. I was just being me, I guess. And everybody they all knew me somewhat. because I competed against some of their opponents in the past, and they didn't hesitate to come help me out if I was struggling, or they didn't give me advice or anything like that. They're really nice people.
But I mean, from a technical standpoint, you have been training for a little while. Do you feel like what kind of adjustments were they trying to make with you when you got, or do you feel like they were at all?
Um, they definitely were. Not a big adjustment, but they've been working on the little things with me. That's one of my biggest problems. I can do the big things, but I can't really do the little things. And so just basic stuff, we're working on basic moves and my technique, and we're trying to build it up from there.
So what small things do you feel like you struggle with?
Guard. My guard game for a yellow belt is not where it should be. So we've been working on that for a while. I've been playing guard all the time at practice, and I'm starting to get to the point where I can do it in tournaments as well and feel confident enough and know what I'm doing.
Guard's kind of a big thing, though, don't you think?
Yeah, it is.
Not a little. I mean, it's a position, so maybe it's a big thing. You know, maybe to you it's a small part. But I was thinking like maybe there's some intricate parts of the arm bar, or the triangle, or just things like that that you were struggling with, perhaps. Now let's talk about this match with Cara Greenwell. I mean, I watched it twice this morning because I wanted to kind of have it fresh in my head. It seemed like you were doing probably all of the attacking in the match. She was, doing well defensively, kind of maybe more like a wrestler's game on top. Kind of tell me what you thought of it.
Um, Going into the match, I knew she was gonna try to use the cage because she's an MMA fighter and she could use that to her advantage. So I didn't really want that to mess with me. I knew I was gonna get put against the cage at some period in the match. So I went in there like knowing what I wanted to do, and I hopped on the back. But I over hopped. My dad says I'm too athletic sometimes, and I over hopped on her back, and then I kind of fell forward. And then I tried to get myself back up there, but I ended up just falling and going for the armbar. And she just turned in and kind of carried me to the cage. And then she just started using the cage the whole match. It was kind of crazy.
I mean, you attacked the arm lock. You had a nice sweep to get to the top. You had a couple of other opportunities. Is
Yeah.
that kind of how you normally would kind of play in a match? Are you pretty aggressive with the submissions?
Yeah, I try to be as submission heavy as possible because that was also one of my problems when I was starting. I would attack maybe one submission and then I would move on and I could have like five other submissions there. I would just like very one track minded, and now I try to open up more, try to expand and get all my submissions out if I can, if they're there.
Now, what was your impression like competing in Martial Combat League as far as the show itself?
Oh, the show itself was great. Everybody put on an amazing show there. Everybody, the people who run it are nice. It ran very smoothly compared to some other the submission fights. Other than that, like there is not much.
So, are you thinking that maybe you're going to do more matches in that event?
Definitely, that
So,
was
I'm sorry.
that was one of the only submission pro fights that I've actually gotten multiple fights in that I could have fought. The other ones, everybody's just saying no, and they don't let me go against the adults there either. But he let me go out against a purple belt. Made me,
Why are they turning you down? Some of these other shows.
you know why? Nobody wants to fight me.
So they're not really saying no to you. Then you're not having opponents necessarily.
Well, so what they do is they'll send me like six people, and I'll say yes to everybody. They'll all say no to me, but say yes to the other people, and then they'll fight them.
Hmm. Now, I'm sure you've done a lot of like grappling tournaments, but what pro event, like you're talking about, what events have you done that are similar to Martial Combat League?
I've done Fight to Win, Submission Hunter Pro, Submission Pro Tour, that's in California, Submission on the Shore, Art Suave, and now the Martial Combats League.
So is it that maybe you're having difficulty getting further matches like in Fight to Win or something like that?
Yeah, there's not many people who accept. I This year I'm going to be competing a whole bunch more in California because I don't really compete that much out there, so nobody really knows me out there. And so I have two super fights in March down there.
They're going to bring you out. You don't have to like fund your own way there and stuff like that.
Uh, well, my sponsors help me with it, so it's going to be fairly easy to get out there.
Now tell me about, again, like when you have these matches, like let's say the last one, what did Rafael say to you after the match, or what were you working on after that?
After the match, I was working on my arm bar because I could have finished it. I had it all the way out. Instead, I should have just inverted in. We were working on my arm bars and my ankle locks more, leg stuff, leg entanglements. And then we were working on some variation of single leg X.
So is he really hands-on after the match as far as working with you specifically on certain things?
Yeah, I so always.
I think I lost your sound for a second.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Are
Maybe
we
come closer to your phone or something.
are we back?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Anytime I message him, he always answers my questions. That's with any of my coaches. They're all very hands-on. They all answer any of my questions. If I don't have any questions, and they always watch all of my matches, so they know what I need to work on, even if I don't ask any questions. So I'm very thankful for it, honestly, because I wouldn't be able to be where I am.
Now you're competing a lot. Why did that happen? Was he encouraging you to compete a lot, or was that just something you wanted to do and it kind of happened that way?
It's just something I wanted to do. Last year, I competed every year, or not every year, every week, from like March until the end of it. And then again, I had my knee injury, so we had to like take it down a little bit in like December. But other than that, I was competing every week. I had the best time of my life. I love competing. It was just something personal that I wanted to do.
But I mean, you're getting these matches like in California, like you're saying. How's that happening? Are you reaching out to these people, or?
Yeah, I'll be like, do you guys have any more room for an extra fight or anything like that? And then they'll try to look for opponents for me. And if they say yes, they say yes. I've had two people down there who wanted to fight me, so I knew I was going to get a fight. And they especially love fighting in Art Suave. And I'm going against Berlin and Europe. They've been wanting to fight me for a pretty long time.
So you're kind of just getting your own matches, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So you don't really have like you're kind of managing yourself at this point as far as competition goes.
Yeah. I always choose whether or not I'm going to tournaments, and my practice schedule is all up to me. My parents, they just kind of drive me around because I can't drive yet.
Now, does Rafael go with you to some of these tournaments?
Yeah, he sometimes he is, but other times he's most likely at a big IBJJF tournament or he's traveling to train somewhere. But if he can be there, he's always there.
Now, so let's kind of talk about your development. Like, I know you're working on the armbar, but maybe tell me, like, what do you feel like you picked up the quickest when you first started?
Honestly, when I first started, I was a guard puller. So my guard was somewhat good. My top was way better. My pressure. My pressure, some people can't really handle it. I feel like that's one of my best things, especially when I'm on top. And I'm trying to make the switch so the pressure, you can feel the pressure on bottom as well. And it's not just on an on top thing.
That's because you were wrestling, so you felt like that was the quickest adjustment for you?
Um, no, I didn't start wrestling until my second year of jiu-jitsu. And then I just went from there. It wasn't much.
But I mean, you competed in the OK USA, right? Didn't you win that?
I did. And then I won all the other stuff from there. I got second in my first wrestling tournament, and then I went to OKWA. That was that one. And then I won that, and then JOC, which I believe I won that too, and then junior high state I just won.
So you're still competing in the wrestling.
Yeah, it helps with my jiu-jitsu a lot. So I use it as a tool in jiu-jitsu, but in wrestling, I just go out there and have fun in the tournaments.
Now, so OK USA is like club wrestling, but you said you're competing in high school also, right?
I'm homeschooled.
Oh,
I
okay.
Epic right now, and so I train under Stand Fast in Oklahoma City. They are a group or club, whatever people like to call it. I train them, and then I'll just put my name down as that.
Yeah, because I know Brissa, who my friend's daughter, he does that as well. So I was wondering, like, do you compete against high school athletes at all in any of these tournaments? High school teams?
Of course.
Yeah.
Junior high state, there's all schools there.
So
So,
the clubs participate in that also.
yeah.
So that you can kind of like, we were kind of talking about this earlier, you can kind of like double dip a little bit where you're doing some club and then some high school also.
Yeah. Well, so I don't think I want to go to high school. I think I'm going to stay online. College, same thing with college. I don't really want to go to college. I feel like I go to college to get some other degree, not involving any athletics at all. Just maybe like engineering or business degree, which, just to get something out there. But I wouldn't go in there for sports.
But have you ever thought that they might offer you a scholarship if you're doing well?
Yeah, they already have.
Right.
I feel like they might. My wrestling coaches are always looking out for me, and they wrestle, not wrestle, they coach for two OSU and OU, of course, and they coach them as well. So it's a possibility.
Right. So what I'm saying is, as you're competing so much in jiu-jitsu and you're doing it online, what if some school that you actually wanted to go to said, hey, come here, we'll give you a scholarship for wrestling. Would you do it?
No. Jiu-jitsu is the biggest thing in my life. I'm not going to
You
wrestling.
don't think your parents would pressure you at all?
No. My, they can be like, if I mess up, they're really strict. They're on me all the time. But they're pretty chill most of the time. I don't have to worry about it.
I thought, how some parents might say, here, you can go to college and maybe you should do this kind of, you don't think that that would be an issue then?
My mom was like that. She was like, Taylor, I think you should go to college. I think it'd be really beneficial for you. And I'm like, the only reason I go to college, or the only time, I'd go there for the experience. And then she just kind of looked at me and I was like, yeah, that's really it. That's the experience. I'd go there for a simple degree and then just get the experience of it.
Yeah, because I would assume in my head, if you're doing well in wrestling, that sooner or later it's probably going to come, I would think,
Yeah.
that kind of offer or whatever. Now, how many times are you wanting to compete this year? Because obviously you're competing a lot. You're wanting to be a professional jiu-jitsu player, right? Yeah. So how many times do you want to compete this year, you think?
This year I want to compete as much as possible. I love competing. It's how I show what I've been working on. Anytime I need to, anytime I've been practicing a move, I do it in my tournament. So it helps me learn what I can do or what I need to adjust. So I love doing them. Helps me with like my game. That's one of the biggest reasons I feel like I am where I am right now. Especially, I'm always at tournaments, right? So the refs, they all know me, and then the head person who runs the tournament, he knows me as well, and they'll help me out sometimes. They're just all what I love doing, man.
Now that a lot of these bigger promotions, because Austin is starting to, become a hotbed for grappling, have you looked into like EBI or some of these other tournaments that are happening?
Yeah, I've I was planning on doing ADCC this year just to feel it out and see what happens. And I just didn't get into it enough. So I'm working on leg locks as we speak. So then next year or in a few years, I can do ADCC confidently without getting my leg broken. Um, and then it's kind of an off year for me. So I'm just doing wrestling this year because I can't. I'm too young for the kids division, and I'm too old. Or yeah, I'm too old for the kids division. I'm too young for the blue belt division, and I don't have my blue belt yet, so I can't really compete in that. So I'm just doing wrestling.
How old are you right now?
I'm 15.
Oh, so you're same age as Brissa,
I am. I know Brissa.
but not the same weight.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I was just curious because I saw her at the, compete at the OK USA. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. Yeah. Now, so I think as a wrestler, ADCC, that's probably something to be advantageous for you, given that.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's what I really focused on wrestling for. That's why I joined the whole wrestling group for ADCC specifically because all the big names, everybody that everybody knows, they've won ADCC or they've won IBJJF,
Mhm.
anything, the Euros, the Brazilianos, just everything.
Now, I mean, I know because of your age, it's like I said, you probably can't do some of these things, but are you looking maybe doing combat EBI type stuff, or maybe even MMA at some point?
Yeah, I want to try it out. I'm gonna be doing the pancration in a few weeks just to do it. If I win, that'd be cool. um, I'm gonna be doing that just to see if I like MMA, and then if I win that, I'm gonna be going to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, not Dubai, um, for the big world title, and then from there, one second, okay, from there, that's that's depending on my MMA career. I wanted to try and go into the UFC, and I wanted to get all these small fights, but my mom doesn't really want me to do UFC.
Mhm.
She says she doesn't want me to mess with my face, which I was like, I won't mess with my face. So I'm trying to get into MMA and all the combat side of jiu-jitsu, but we have some restrictions.
What is this pancreation you're going to be doing?
What is it? The USFL. It's a fight league for kids. It's the biggest fighting tournament for kids, I believe. Just
Where's
watch.
it at?
It'll be in California, I believe.
Oh. And if you win, they're going to send you to Abu Dhabi.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good. How many people do you know, like roughly how many people are going to compete like in is it a tournament or do you have to win one match or?
It's a tournament. I'm not sure how many people are going to be there yet.
So is it like with headgear or what do you know the rules are?
Yeah, there's no head strikes, and we're going to wear headgear, of course, mouthpiece, gloves, all that. You can just hit the body.
On the ground as well?
Yeah. And there's grappling involved, so that's a plus.
Yeah, there was a promotion in Japan, Shuto, that still goes on, but I mean it was really popular back when I was kind of like in my 20s, and that's similar rules to that. The amateur Shuto, you couldn't hit the head on the ground. You could hit the head standing up, but not on the ground. And if you won the amateur Shuto tournament, they would turn you pro. So it sounds similar to that.
Kind of.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of that. I kind of keep my ear to most things, but I hadn't heard of that. Who puts it on? Do you know who that was? You said it was like a organization.
Yep.
What's the organization called again?
U USFL. It's
Interesting. Now, how did you approach them as well then?
No, I didn't. One of my friends who does it, and so I have a whole bunch of people in my gym who do it as well. And I've been wanting to get into it, and that was one of the biggest tournaments I saw. One of my friend's Lariah. Her name's Lariah. She won it last year, and she went to Bulgaria for it. So I was like, if she can do it, why can't I do it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you go to another place.
Yeah. She does jujitsu though. That's her main sport.
Yeah, how many people does Lovato have right now that are competing in similar things to you?
Everybody who has a blue belt is basically competing. Everybody blue belt and up are competing. And then the kids, majority of the kids are competing. We like our little ones. We are just now finally getting them to where they can compete. Um, but pretty much everybody in the gym is always competing. But everybody's always there at practice. Nobody's slacking off or anything. Nobody's not going hard. So,
I mean, people are competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments, but I mean the kind of events that you're doing. How many of them are doing that?
ooh. We have a few people. I'm not sure how many specifically, but we have a few. One of the main ones I know are Aaron, um, and David. David made his debut in the Martial Combat League and absolutely killed the guy he was going against. Took him to the hospital. And Professor, he used to do it as well. He had to stop, unfortunately. Um, Other than that, there's a lot of people I just don't pay attention to that type of stuff, you know.
Yeah, David looks like he's got real potential. He's real physical. Yeah, he's scary.
He's always doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that you were doing like so many kind of pseudo professional events. I had saw some different announcements on your Instagram and whatnot, but I didn't realize it was that much stuff. So it's cool that you have parents that are really supportive of letting you kind of go to those different places and do that. So they're just kind of, how much time do they have to kind of free up and kind of do the traveling with you to go to California and place like that, though?
Um, they have enough time, I guess. My dad, he's always traveling with me. He goes everywhere with me. If you take a picture, you always see him behind me. My mom, she's been getting a lot more free time, especially with a job. She's been moving online, so she's been coming with me to tournaments. And now my brother, my sister are starting to compete as well. So now it's just a whole family thing and not just me anymore.
So they're kind of making adjustments so that they can take you to more things.
Of course,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean that's pretty awesome because not all parents would do that, to help like further what you're wanting to do. So that's pretty cool that your parents would kind of help you accomplish your dreams. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty cool people, man. Honestly, I'm just thankful that I have really supportive parents that always help me out and drive me to practice. Because some people don't really have that.
So maybe you could tell like people watching this, let's focus on just what is your next one? When is it? What date?
My next competition for jiu-jitsu is this weekend in Phoenix. It's an AGF tournament, and I'm going down there Friday. I'm competing in a few blue belt divisions, maybe one of my regular divisions, and then my brother and sister also competing in their regular divisions, and that's it. That's the last
Now
thing.
AGF, I mean, I know they come here to like Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Now when you're going to Phoenix, is that just they wanted you to do it there or did you decide to go?
I just decided to go. I have Boston after my Phoenix tournament, and then after that, that's when I have my um, pro matches in California, the Art Suave again. Um, the Boston one, again, these are all my choices. Nobody reaches out to me. They're like, hey, come out to the tournaments. But um, I choose to go to these tournaments because it just makes me happy. I love doing them. And my family is now starting to get into it. So they're like, yeah, that's cool. We can go. So
Now what's the Art Suave?
Art Suave is a pro jiu-jitsu submission match. I have two of those, again, against Europe and um, Berlin. I just forgot her name. They've been wanting to fight me for a long time. It's in California. I'm not sure where specifically in California, but it's in a few weeks on March 8th.
March 8th. So you're going to have two matches.
Wait, the 12th.
You're going to have two matches that day.
Yes. Gi and no gi.
That's interesting. So it's not a tournament, but it's like a card, but you're going to have two matches on the card.
Yeah.
Who do you know that's like headlining that event, or maybe?
Um, I don't really know that many people down there in California. I only know a few, and the few that I know, they're not really competing in art swabs. They're probably going to be doing like a jiu-jitsu world league, and they're just taking a rest day.
Is that something that people can watch?
Yeah.
Like on streaming?
If you go to Art Swab on Instagram, they'll be live streaming it, and I'm sure they'll have it on Facebook and their pay-per-view and all that.
Okay. Well, as we're kind of winding down the interview, I was wondering, I always like to let people that are doing the interview be, for people that are watching this, maybe something you want to leave them with, where they can follow you, or just something that is important to you.
My Instagram, of course, A Kind Savage. You can follow me there. I have a Facebook as well. Um, really it. My TikTok, A Kind Savage.
And do you, for people that are training, or maybe people that are coming in new, especially like women or girls, is there any advice you would have for people?
Have fun. That's really it. Have fun and work hard.
Yeah, if you enjoy what you're doing, it's easier than rather just doing it.
Just have fun, man. That's it.
Well, again, Taylor, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this. You know, I'd like to talk to you maybe after, if we could sometime, like after you do one of these matches,
Yeah.
Art Swab or something like that, if you'd like to come back. But I really appreciate you taking the time to do this stuff, because I can't do this stuff if people don't want to take part in it. So I appreciate you taking the time to do it.
Of course.
And I just wish you good luck in your matches, and you know, I hope it all works out well for you.
Oh, and my sponsor.
Oh yeah. Mention your sponsors.
My sponsors, Level Black and Zombie's Grip right now.
Where are those businesses?
Zombie's Grips is for grip tape mainly, and Level Black, they give me like rash guards, shirts, hoodies, spats, anything that they really make. Shoes, what are they called? Singlets. They're absolutely the best, man.
How did you come in contact with those people?
So I was doing a tournament. I saw their shirts first, and I was like, "Hey, do you think these shirts are appropriate for kids? Like, can I get one?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're having a deal right now. If you win a tournament, you get a free shirt." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And my dad said I could get one of the shirts, so I was gonna buy one of the shirts originally. He was like, "If you win a gold medal at your tournament, I'll give you a shirt." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool." And him not knowing me at the time, I guess he just wasn't really worried about it. And I ended up winning 4 golds at the tournament. And so he sent me 4 shirts, and then it just went on from there.
Did you find him on Instagram, or
I did.
what's his Instagram?
Level Black.
Level Black. So if people are interested in like gear and stuff, they can find it there.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one?
Zombies Grips for grip tape.
And they have the Instagram Zombie Grip, or?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of talk about
Um,
as far as sponsors and stuff go?
Sponsors? No.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking time to do this, and you know, next time we'd have like more matches to talk about and whatnot. And yeah, I look forward to it, because it's really cool that somebody in the area is competing a lot like you are. And yeah, I think it'll be great to have you on again.
I have a documentary series in March.
Stop.
I
got it.
out there now. I have a little grapplers series in March coming out.
Now, are you in it or were you helping make it?
I'm in it. I have an episode to
Who's
myself.
making it?
Her name is Mac. She
Oh,
does,
yeah.
yeah, most of the photography out here in Oklahoma and all the other big tournaments.
Yeah, I've seen some of her work. Yeah,
She's pretty
she
good.
does good stuff. That's Mac Copeland.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So you're going to be like one of the features
Yes. Comes out at the end of March.
in the market. Do you know where she's going to put it out at?
On her YouTube and her Instagram.
How much footage did they do with you?
Oh man. She recorded me from like 8 a.m. in the morning till night. She went to South Carolina with me as well, so she got me filming, or she filmed me doing all of my matches. And that was one of my most interesting matches, or some of my most interesting matches I've had all year. So,
So
and
it's filmed you, how long you think? Like a week, a month?
it wasn't that long. It was a few days. It'll be like a few weeks before it comes out, maybe like a month and a half.
So she filmed you for a few days total?
Yeah, we filmed all day, literally.
Now, what do you think it's going to look like? Is it going to be a thing where it's just kind of like, is it featuring you as in this is who this person is and then kind of showing some of your matches?
I think this is going to be kind of like a day in the life type thing of this person. And then it's going to cut to clips of me fighting and all the medals and all that stuff.
So how do you feel about being in a documentary already?
It's pretty cool. Honestly, 2 years ago, I would have never thought that I would be in a documentary series or I would be where I am right now. Um, it's crazy.
What were you doing 2 years prior?
I was a Girl Scout.
A Girl Scout?
A Girl Scout. I was so nice. Just that's
I don't know. You can make fires and stuff like that, so it's fine. And do all the stuff that they could do, right? So
yeah,
some of that stuff can be helpful later on.
of course.
Well, again, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're pretty busy with all your training and stuff, and like I said, it'll be great to catch up with you again sometime.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
Be on here.
Yeah, it was great meeting you, and it was great talking to you for the first time.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Bye.